Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Just want to remind people, if we have any interruptions with the stream tonight, please be patient. I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. I know some people are having a hard time finding it again after that, but I'm right back on right away. So if you go to the channel, you should be able to find it. You probably won't get a notification. A lot of people tell me they don't get notifications of the second stream if it happens, or the third or fourth or whatever it may be. But, just so you guys know that if we have any interruptions, that I will get right back on right away. Okay, so we're going to be talking about should we be worried about China? So we're going to get into that in a little bit. I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel, number one. So please be decent in the chat with each other. No racism, no nastiness. Please be kind. If you are not, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here. Okay, so we're not going to tolerate it. It's not going to happen. All right. So second thing is, if you have a question, all cap locks, please, so it stands out for me. It makes a big difference. And so I would appreciate that, because I'm looking at everything. I want to make sure I see it. So first of all, before we get started with the stream, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And when I say the fathers, I mean the real fathers, the ones that raise their kids and take care of their kids. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the one that conceived those kids. A lot of people go out of their way to step up to help raise children that are not theirs. So I think that that's important that they be acknowledged as well. Okay, so and the grandparents, a lot of grandparents are raising their kids' kids. So, it takes a lot to be a father, and it's a responsibility, just like it takes a lot to be a mother, and that's a responsibility. So all the single moms out there that the father is not in the picture and you're doing both roles, my hat's off to you as well. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, so let's talk about China, okay? Should we be, I got to show you this too. If you can see this here, you see this line? That's my glasses line from this. I was just looking at that. I got like a tan line from my glasses. That's pretty funny. I was just looking when I was like, wait, what the heck? And that's what that is. So anyway, let's talk about China. Should we be worried about China? I think we really need to be worried about China, in my opinion. I've said for probably, I used to always say 20 years, but now it's probably closer to 30. I said Russia was never the issue. Russia was not the one we needed to worry about. It was China. Always was my thought was China. Either they're trying to buy up as much of our property here as they can, which that is happening, okay? A lot of the farms, a lot of the meat packing places, a lot of them are owned by Chinese companies. So, I mean, if you really pay attention to stuff and see what's going on, you can see that. And that is absolutely concerning, okay? With what they're doing around the world at the same time. Hey, Prepper Chris One, happy Father's Day, boss. China is a big issue. Yeah, huge issue. Right now they're having their second round of COVID now. Supposedly, they're having things popping up. Hey, Aaron, have you read the EMP report of Homeland Security? It's scary. Yes, I did read that, and that concerned China as well, that they were getting things squared away. Like I said, an EMP would just absolutely devastate this country, and they wouldn't have to worry about even invading us after that. They would just let us destroy ourselves, which is exactly what would happen. It would be really, really bad. If we lose the power grid, if the power grid went down for any length of time, for whatever reason, this country's in big, big trouble. Okay, big trouble. Now, getting into, I want to get back to China, but I wanted to bring this up really, really quickly, and I thought this was unbelievable because it just shows what morons that we're dealing with. The mayor of Minneapolis, there with this, where they did the rioting and burned down their town, they're asking for federal funds to rebuild their city. Yeah, I'd leave it the burned out shell that it is. That's how I would leave it. Hey, Gigi, it's so bad we should be learning to speak Mandarin. Yeah, I hear you. China would, I don't think you're going to see boots on the ground. Okay. China wants to be number one. They absolutely want to be number one. And you think about where would they want to control? Let's think about it. Okay. If I was China and I was looking to for conquest to take over territory in the United States, what would I take over? And that's really, really easy. And I know a lot of people on here are big-time haters of California, but California would be the one. Pamela X, Happy Dad's Day. I'd noticed there are now calling mass face covering. There is a real new world order, and this is about submission, one at a time. Yeah, you know what? It's about compliance and control. Absolutely. I know face coverings. Isn't that interesting how they're calling it that now? Yeah, it is not. It's not a good thing at all. Thank you so much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. But you know, if I was China, I was looking to conquest territory, I would take over California. You could easily take over California, you know, as far as, if not easily, but if you did, California alone is the 5th largest economy in the world. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that because I know there's a lot of hate for California. Obviously, parts of California are very, very liberal, which we all know that. But, you know, and like insanely liberal with the stuff that is allowed to happen. But, you know, they grow so much of the produce in this country. It is unbelievable. A lot of produce. There's a huge economy. I was out in California 2 years ago. And, you know, anybody that knows, I did the motorcycle tour out there with that company that I was working for. And it was amazing what I saw. We were in Northern California. And it was absolutely amazing. You know, it's amazing what's going on. So somebody's talking about the takeover of the 7 blocks in Seattle. You know, they need to stop that right into the ground. That's what they need to do. They need to stop playing games with these people and just, Ed, are you going to raise a protein? As far as like a pig or, you know, stuff like that, I do plan on eventually getting set up so that I can get a pig every spring, butcher it in the fall, and have that meat. But I have to have my underground freezer in place first, my cold storage and stuff like that underground, because I plan on doing a root cellar and a freezer underground, and having a freezer where I'm not ever using electricity to keep it cold. So that will be an interesting project that will be down the road. I have to see where we're going to be at. That could be something that might happen next year. We'll have to see how that goes, but that could be something that happens next year. But anyway, so you look at what China is doing now. So here we are, all infighting in the United States, right? We're dealing with what we're dealing with here with the stupidity, and that's the best way I can describe it. And so we're dealing with that. We have the COVID that we're dealing with here in the United States, and the numbers are going up again. And I had somebody say, well, the numbers are going up again because they're doing more testing. Well, they're doing more testing, and also they're easing restrictions. And in a lot of the states where they're easing restrictions, the numbers are going up because of that. So, you know, and again, if you look at the, you know, and I'm going to tell you what, I've been getting a lot of feedback on the channel, a lot of people saying that it's fake again and all this type of stuff. I'm not even going to acknowledge that because I absolutely do not believe that is the case. What is going on in these nursing homes is a travesty. You know, maybe hopefully it exposes the nursing home industry and how terrible it is for our elderly in this country, and how our elderly are treated and thrown away like the garbage and not given the proper care that they deserve to have. Maybe that would be a good thing that came out of it. It would expose these people with their staffing minimums, garbage, and stuff like that. That would be a great thing that came out of it if it was, in my opinion. China is focused on stealing intellectual property. Yes, they absolutely are looking to do that. They're doing that all the time. That's Carlos Parker just said that. Thank you for that. Yeah, you're 100% right about that. Aaron just said, make a Faraday cage out of the metal trash can. I have one, and we'll keep a walkie-talkie and NOAA radio and a few other things. I have an EMP trap for my generator. Good. That's our tarp for my generator. Very good. That's good to hear. Yeah, you know, having a Faraday cage is a good thing as well. Absolutely, because you never know. So I want to get back. What about China's influence in Canada? Well, let's even go a little bit further than that. Let's go with China's influence in Africa. Think about what's going on in Africa. China is in Africa big time, okay? You know, they're locking down Hong Kong right now. They're putting in, they're basically squashing everything that is going on there way before they were supposed to. M. Hammer said, Ed, will EMP knock out your solar controllers? It would really depend on where it was detonated. The farther away from an EMP detonation you are, the better your chances your stuff can survive. But, if it was close to here, probably not. That would probably blow the stuff out there as well. So that's why it's kind of important to have backups and having other things set aside to use if you have to. A charge controller, an inverter, those type of things. And again, having them protected, with in a Faraday cage and whatnot is a really, really good thing to do. Really good thing to do. So, yeah. Somebody said they have a Faraday cage. Yep, very cool. That's, what, and it's smart to have that. If you have a ham radio, walkie-talkies, like a backup laptop, any kind of electronics that you don't want fried, it would be a good thing to do, a really good thing to do. So, yeah, it depending on what do you think about the country's best defense against China? The best defense that we would have against China realistically, immediately harden our system, harden our grid. That should have been going on. It should be continuously going on. I know certain parts are hardened militarily wise, but we definitely need to protect ourselves from that. Like I said, China's trying to steal all kinds of, somebody had said earlier in a comment about our intellectual stuff, okay? Because, we're pretty advanced as far as electronics and, and all that type of stuff. And all that information, and China wants that. They want that information because they want to use it for themselves. But, China and America will fight against Korea. China, I'm going to tell you what, right now, China has got the stuff that's going on in Hong Kong. Then they're also disputing some passes up in the Himalayas with India. So they're having issues with India. So, they're trying to push their weight around while we're distracted because, India, I'm pretty sure India is one of our allies, and we have, agreements with them to help India because even though India is a huge country, they don't have the technology like we have the technology. And so that really makes lead line drywalls make the whole room a cage. Yes. Yep. You can get the, if you get the lead, that is probably the best Faraday cage type of situation that you could have. To say, like, if you get a big box, a good sized box, and all lead lined and sealed, you would absolutely. That's a great way to to make a Faraday cage. Now that's not going to be cheap, but again, it would give you another advantage. Hey, Gigi, China is in Africa for their own people. It's a new grow zone in the Grand Solar Minimum. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. They're looking to have an area where they can grow with no issues at all. Exactly. And Teaker says there are legitimate electronic devices on the market to protect against an EMP. There's a good chance a smaller independent power system would survive. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that information, and thank you both for the donation. I do appreciate that. Guys, I see we're already at 1,000 people in the chat, so if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, we got like 278 on the thumbs up. I would ask you to shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel, and thank you for that ahead of time. I appreciate that. Again, it helps with the algorithms, and plus I like to see a decent amount of thumbs up when we do one of the shows, so I absolutely appreciate that. How thick would the lead need to be? You know what? That is a great question, and I do not know the answer to that. Maybe somebody in the chat does. Can you turn a car into a Faraday cage? Old cars. You know what? I think there would be too many ways for the electricity to get in there. Prepper Chris 1. I think you really need something that was sealed. So that's the biggest thing. It's like a lot of times when they talk about like with a garbage can, you have to use that tape, that metal tape around the edge to really get a good seal. Because if you just have the garbage can lid on there, that's not a good enough seal. So it really needs to be, really needs to be sealed properly. So again, my thing is with a Faraday cage, the smartest thing to do. Was it finally starting to rain? Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's actually finally starting to. Okay, so I gotta talk about this real quick, and I talked about it in one of my videos. It's actually starting to rain outside. So yesterday in New York State, all around us, we had flash flood warnings. We had, torrential downpours all over around us. The one town where I'm close to, it was raining there. On the other side of us, in the town over there, it was raining. They had flash flood warnings in a couple of other places. People were getting pummeled. We got a couple of sprinkles, and that was it. The clouds came over. We saw the lightning. It was really dark and ominous, and we thought, okay, here it comes. And we need a good soaking rain here. We haven't had enough rain up here. So I'm hearing it actually starting to rain out there right now. So I'm really, really happy about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, so it's like, it's crazy how that was too. It was absolutely crazy. But no, it's good to actually hear the rain. So anyway, sorry, I'm just like, I'm all of a sudden I was like, yes. My 550-gallon water tank, okay, my rain catchment system that I have off the house, I use that to water the gardens, okay. I water my garden every day. So people that were asking now, somebody had pointed out something and I wasn't even thinking about it, and they made a great point, and I'm going to definitely rectify this. I will always admit when I'm wrong. Always admit when I'm wrong. They said, are you watering your new trees? And I have not been at all. So it has been extremely, extremely dry, and so it's probably the root system isn't taken in yet. So I will rectify that. I plan on starting to water them tomorrow. So thank you for the person, whoever it was. I don't remember exactly who it was in the comments earlier, had pointed that out, and I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest with you. My mind has been on 10 million other things, and I wasn't even thinking about watering those trees, the new ones. So I will correct that, and I will start watering them more. So anyway, but China is expanding their power all over. Now, don't get me wrong. The United States has done this for years and years and years. Why do you think we have bases all over the world? I mean, we have bases everywhere, okay? Because we are exerting our power and our strength. China is now doing the same thing. China wants to be the superpower. They really want to be the superpower. We have been the modern day Rome, the policeman of the world for a very, very long time. But it's not, we don't do it out of the kindness of our hearts as Americans. That's not, and I shouldn't say Americans, because it's like, it's the government, okay? The American people in general are good people. Hardworking, down to earth, like they want the same thing everybody else wants. But when you have, hey, Aaron, to test if something is EMP proof, put your cell phone in it and try to call it. If it doesn't ring, then it doesn't have a signal and it's good. Okay, well, there you go. That's a good way of doing it. Absolutely, a very good way of doing it. But, the powers that be, it's about control. So we go into an area, we'll destabilize an area, and then we come in and it's supposedly to save the day. But it's all about power and control. So, we're not like these wonderful saviors of the world. The United States pushes their weight around pretty strongly. And if people don't comply, we'll come in and do what we have to do. Either very underhanded with, FBI, or not FBI, I'm trying to think, like CIA, those type of folks. They do a lot of things that are not technically legal. Hey, Prepper Chris 1, don't water them more. Low water makes root growth. If they have to search for water, the roots go deeper and stronger and are going to be... are you going to add mulch to the raised beds? Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to water them a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy. I won't water them every day, but I would definitely. This rain. Hopefully, we have a nice steady rain and it lasts for a good long time because we need it. So hopefully that will help. But I do. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to add mulch to the beds or not. I haven't really decided yet. I'm just keeping an eye on the beds. Now, some of the beds we got the it's not plastic, but it's that fabric down, so that it allows the water to go in, but it doesn't allow the plants to grow up. A couple of the beds, obviously the peas and the green beans and the radishes, they don't have that on there, and neither does the last bed. So I don't know I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. China's really pushing their control. They want more control. Now they're locking down on Hong Kong. a lot earlier than they're supposed to. And they're basically, and again, I touched base on this a while ago. We have a unique trade thing going on with Hong Kong. But if China comes in, it's like right now, we don't have tariffs on exports of Chinese, or no, I mean of goods shipped out of Hong Kong. But we do have tariffs on Chinese stuff out of mainland China. Well, because China is locking down, the president is rescinding those not amnesty, that good faith type of thing, because China is trying to lock down Hong Kong. The United States says, well, we're not going to allow that, and we're talking billions and billions of dollars worth of trade. There's so many companies here. I think it was like 200 companies have their main thing based out of Hong Kong. I mean, it's crazy what goes on. We're talking a tremendous, tremendous amount of money. And remember, money makes the world go round. They're going to go after Taiwan next. Follower of Jay just said that. It wouldn't surprise me. And you look at what the disputed area in the ocean, those islands and stuff. They're saying that it's theirs, and we're trying to push our way around it. I mean, it's a big game. All of it is a big game, and it's about who's going to control what. And we've been in control for so long, realistically, if you think about it. The United States has been the biggest bully on the block for a long, long time. And, China is the up-and-coming boy. So, they got a lot of people. They are a very one-dimensional minded, folks. And America's gotten lazy. America has got, not all of America, I will say that, but there's a great deal of America that has got very lazy, very compliant. I wanted to bring this up too. Wall Street will never let China be sidelined. Tight Lines just said that. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not sure what you mean by not letting them be sidelined. Like I said, with what's going on over there with Hong Kong alone, that's all about money, power, and control. That's what that's all about. Okay, it's basically China's. They gave them that area. It was like they're part of China, but they were separate, and now now they were slowly going to be taking back control over time. And they're speeding it up because the people of Hong Kong are protesting and wanting to be free, which you can't blame them. So, but and then you got China versus India. Exactly. Angelo Martinez just said that. Yep. And what's going on up there? What's going to happen with that? And are we going to back India in that situation? India and China have gone at it before, and China handed them their behinds. Okay. China's no joke. I mean, don't think that they're some backward country that can't do what they need to do. They're very, very smart. If you look at the cyber attacks that just recently happened, all on the West Coast, there was a bunch of stuff going on, and there was a lot of issues with phones and everything else. Don't be surprised if those are like little test forays into that type of stuff. Hey, Prepper Chris 1. Sorry, just had to say different states, different watering. Yes, yeah, it really depends. Like, I know like here we can collect water, and it's amazing to me that there are states where it is illegal. Thank you for the donation too, Chris. I appreciate that. It's amazing to me that in how certain states it is illegal to collect rainwater. I'm like, are you serious? Something natural from the sky and you're not allowed to collect it? That's insanity. To me, it's a resource that is there. It's a resource to be used, and I want to try to use it. And obviously, we use it to water the gardens. It takes less strain off of my well system, and my well is good. Don't get me wrong, okay? But with having a 550-gallon storage tank and having the rainwater come off the roof and using that exclusively for my gardens, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful resource to take advantage of. I know people that, they have large cisterns underground and a couple of good rainstorms, and that's 1,000, 10,000 gallon tanks. That'll fill up pretty quickly, and they use that water. So it's a smart thing to do. During the wintertime, are you going to put clear plastic over the raised beds and turn them into small greenhouses so you can grow more stuff all winter. Actually, Frank, what I'm going to be doing in the wintertime, I'm going to let those beds rest in the winter. There's no way I would be able to really utilize them, on a regular basis in the winter up here. The winters are too harsh, but I have the greenhouse. So I really, once I get going, and obviously that is a project that is coming up. Trust me, that's coming up. Once I get going full bore in the greenhouse, what people are not understanding, once I get things rolling in the greenhouse, that greenhouse is going to be year round. I plan on having a heat source for that greenhouse. And so I plan on using my greenhouse year round. So that is what will be used year round. Next year, I'm starting all of my plants from seeds, and I can start it early. And, and again, we'll have our cold weather crops that we're going to grow in the wintertime, in the greenhouse. And we're going to be doing some experimentation and see what really works and what doesn't. That's realistically what we're going to be working on now with the greenhouse once we get that really up and rolling. In a greenhouse, how do you pollinate your plants? Well, that's why, okay, so certain plants need to be pollinated, obviously, by the bees and stuff like that. So there's some stuff that doesn't need to be pollinated, okay? So like your greens, your root vegetables, you really don't need, there's no pollination with those. So if you can just grow those root vegetables, that's going to be fine. But like, your certain things that you have to have pollination, that's why you have the vents in the greenhouse. Like right now, my vents are open in the greenhouse right now. They've been open all day long. Normally, by this point, I usually have them already closed up for the night. But that's how you get it so that the bees will go in and out of that greenhouse by just having those vents open. Now, obviously, in the wintertime, it's a whole different thing. So, you really have to, look at it that way. So, but, so anyway, like I said, let's get back to China real quick. China is no joke. And, again, with this whole virus thing, again, was it released on accident, on purpose? The reality is with the virus that has been going on, it has destroyed the economy all over the world. All the economies are just devastated. Travel, tourism, cruises. You're looking at, not being able to get enough crops in the ground because you don't have the manpower to do it. We're losing a tremendous amount of the older folks because of this. I mean, the nursing homes, there's some investigation going on right now in Florida. Some congressman or senator, one of the two, I don't remember which one it was, is launching an investigation into some of these nursing homes. And again, I think I applaud that. Because I'll tell you what, they need, in my opinion, I'm going to give you my opinion because I've worked in plenty of nursing homes throughout my years of nursing. They need to do a complete overhaul of the nursing system. What is enough staff to take care of people? These staffing minimums that they have in some of these companies, what they get away with, which is okay to do staffing minimums, and I'm talking New York State, okay? It is ridiculous. And the people that make these staffing minimums, I would love for them to come in and actually work a couple of shifts in these nursing homes as an aide and tell me if that's enough staff. Boy, I'll tell you what, they would change the staffing minimums in a heartbeat. But again, if you have more staff on, that costs the company more money, takes away from the bottom line, okay? They don't want that. They don't ever want that. They don't want to hire another nurse. You, in my opinion, you should have we're going to go with an evening shift. You have 2 nurses passing meds. You have a third nurse strictly doing treatments, doing any kind of triage that you need. And what do I mean by that? The third nurse would do admissions or discharges. They would also, if there was a fall or anything like that, that would be their focus. That's what they would be working on. And if you had that, and people could actually focus on patient care and taking care of their patients better, it would be a much, much better situation. And realistically, these people have worked their whole lives, and they deserve to be taken care of properly and not neglected and not left in urine and feces. And when you walk into a nursing home and the first thing that you smell is urine and feces, that speaks volumes. You walk into a room and somebody's laying there in that, I wouldn't want to think that that would happen to my loved one. Okay, well, that's why my loved one will never, my mom will never. In the only way we've already had this discussion. The only way my mother would ever go into a nursing home is if she ended up getting Alzheimer's dementia and she became a danger to herself or other people. That is the absolute only way that I would put my mother in a nursing home. As long as I could take care of her at home, I would do that. If I could take care of her safely, she will be home. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen. She's pretty spry. She's pretty sharp for her age, but she's doing pretty good. So, let's see. Alabama has the same sorry level of care due to low level of care. Yeah, BJ Barden just said that. Yeah, it's very, very sad, realistically, and I think it's all over the place like that. There's never enough staff, and then heaven forbid somebody calls off. Then what are you doing? Then somebody's getting mandated and forced to stay longer than they wanted to. It's terrible. Aides are treated in the way that the CNAs are treated is atrocious, absolutely atrocious. I worked as an aide for 5 years before I became a nurse, and you were just treated as disposable, and even nurses are treated as disposable. It's just the way it goes, unfortunately. So, what do we got? 1.1 in the chat, and we're at 491 on the thumbs up, guys. If you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do that, please, to show support for the channel. Again, it helps with the algorithms, and like I said, we would like to get a decent amount of thumbs up. Hey, Merry Christmas. Repent and be baptized in Jesus' name, Acts 2:37-38. This is the only way to heaven. Today you can have forgiveness. Well, thank you for that statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. Guys, too, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe. Hit that bell icon as well to get all notifications as well, okay? So just wanted to put that out there as well. I'm going to tell you what. My father was gardening with Cain at the age of 85. I'm going to tell you what. Mrs. T just said that. I'm going to tell you, here's the difference with a lot of people. I was just talking to a guy today because I went out for a ride, and I stopped and talked to another dude who had a Harley, of course. We're all, this weird brotherhood type of thing. And him and I were talking, and he was 61, and he was thinking of retiring. And his work was saying, they want him to stay on till he's 65. And so, he gave them their offer. They counter offered to get him to stay. And he says, I think I'm going to take it. And I said to him, a lot of times what I've seen happen, people work hard their whole lives, and then they retire, and within 6 months of retiring or shortly thereafter, they die. When you have no purpose, when you have nothing to live for, nothing to look forward to, have you seen the cases where people are working in their 80s and in their 90s and they're still continuing to work? They do it because it's an activity. It keeps them busy. Now, I know a lot of people end up doing, volunteer work. They do volunteer stuff, which is awesome, very, very commendable. And I think that that's an awesome thing as well. Did you see that all the police officers nationwide are being encouraged to walk out on July 4th? I did not see that, JJ. That would not be a good day to have no police presence out there. Heather, would you check? See if anybody's there, please. Dogs are barking. Don't know why. But the thing is, if you stay more active and you have some kind of a purpose, I mean, it's much, much better for you. You're going to have a much more happy life. You're going to be much more productive and stuff like that. Is anybody there, Heath? Oh, the neighbor's dog, of course. Yeah, the neighbor's dog thinks that our yard is the toilet, which is wonderful. We're dealing with that in a nice way, though, not in a bad way. But growing food outdoors, no time for volunteering. Yeah, I hear that. No, it's it's funny. It's people ask me, well, what do you do? What do you? When I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do when I wake up, obviously, I wake up. I usually get a drink of water. I take the dogs out. I go out. I take care of the chickens first thing. That's the very first thing I do. I take the dogs out, take care of the chickens. As soon as I'm done taking care of the chickens, then I go and I water the gardens. It's part of a routine. It's just that routine. And you get into it, and it's part of your daily chores that you have to do. Those chickens need to be taken care of. The dogs need to be taken care of. Then I'll check the dishes for the cats and the dogs and make sure everybody's got enough food and water and stuff like that. It's just all part of that. And then I kind of say, okay, what is my game plan? What do I want to do today? So today, my game plan was get the grass cut. Needed to be cut, needed to be done. So I knew it was like 88 degrees here today. It was very, very hot for New York. Let me rephrase that again. For you folks in the South that are used to having 90 and 100-degree temperatures, that's fine, but we're not. Okay? So 88 with high humidity is hot. So I went out and I cut the grass. I took about an hour and a half, and then I ended up painting the front steps, because I wanted to make sure that they're getting done, and I still have to do the back steps yet. But, it's just having a game plan, waking up, getting that done. And then I said, okay, I got that done. Now it's getting warm. Time to go for a ride. And so I went for a ride. And, but that's what you do. I mean, you have a game plan. You methodically plan things out, and you decide, like with the wood. I didn't know how long it was going to take me to stack all that wood, but I figured a couple days anyway, 3 days. And I just went out there and I worked at it, and that's it. How far is too close to neighbors? I'm going to tell you what, I like where I am. Everybody up here generally has about a 3-acre plot. And so like where we are situated, I mean, you guys have seen on the other side of the chicken coop, there's a home over there, but they're far enough away. They're not like right on top of us. Hey, Mountain Girl, happy Father's Day, PN1, and all the amazing prepping dads out there. Donated $100 to your website. Thank you very much, Mountain Girl. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for doing that, and thank you for the donation here as well. I do appreciate that as well, and thank you. I'm going to tell you what. It's funny. I'm going to do a quick story, and then we're going to get back. I really want to talk more about China. Okay, so we're going to get more into China, but I want to talk about a quick story real quick. My father, my biological father. Now, I called my stepfather today, and I wished him a happy Father's Day. He's been more of a father to me than my real father ever was. And my mom didn't marry him until I was 16. So, but anyway, my biological father gave us up for adoption because he didn't want to pay child support. Well, he had remarried. Let me just break it down what had happened. He had remarried. And his wife that he was married to, she had 2 children. Okay, so my dad was raising her 2 kids. And so when my dad would take my sister and I, and we would go over to my father's, his wife would not help at all. So she made it very, very difficult for him. And I'm not making excuses for him at all. So please don't think that I am. But she was not helpful at all. She did not want us in the picture. So the opportunity came up where my mom had said, well, if you give the kids up and let, her husband that she was with at the time adopt us, he wouldn't have to pay child support anymore. And he took that because then he didn't have to pay child support. And so at 5 years old, and my sister was 4, my father gave us up for adoption to my stepfather. So I still had my biological mom, but I had, so my last name is not my biological last name. But anyway, I remember as a child thinking, if I ever have my own children, I'm going to be the kind of dad that my dad wasn't. Now, I started having a relationship with my biological father, a real relationship, when I was 27 years old. I wanted to get to know him. I wanted to see what he was all about. I wanted to, why. And the reality was, and this sounds terrible, my father was a selfish prick. Very, very selfish man. It was all about him, his needs, what he wanted. When my children were born, I used to say to him, Dad, come on over anytime you want. We would see my dad. If I was having a poker game, my dad would show up. Other than that, we would see my dad. He would come like twice a year. He would come for their birthday, and he would show up at Christmas. And that's it. Because it was always all about him. So in everything happens for a reason, and everything happens when it should. So in my opinion, I was better off not having that influence in my life, okay? But it really galvanized me to when I was going to have my own children, I was going to be there for my kids no matter what. Even if the marriage didn't work, which my marriage did not last, but they're my children. And so, I raised my children. So my ex and I separated, went our separate ways when the kids were 10. And then I raised them from that point on. They're mine. They're my responsibility. And, it was really, really important for me to do that. And it's like, you know what? And that doesn't stop when they turn 18 and then they leave or go to college or whatever. It never stops. They will be there. And I've always told, this is what I'm going to tell you what, this is the one thing I told my kids all through their growing up years. I said, the only thing that I can promise you, I said, as long as I am alive, I will be here for you. And that's all you can promise, because there's no guarantee. And I talk about that at the end of my videos when I said that there's no guarantees. There's not. So we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, letting them be aware that as long as I'm alive, I'm going to be here, and I have been. And that's just, and I wasn't doing it for the attaboy I couldn't tell you how many people said to me, you have your kids? And I went, yeah. They're mine. They're my responsibility. So, it's just, some people have that maternal instinct, and some people don't. And, to me, it was a very, very important thing. I wanted my children. They were very much wanted when they were born. And, and it doesn't, you don't get tired of it and go, yeah, I don't feel like doing it anymore. It doesn't work like that. So that's just where I'm at with that. And so it was important for me. And, so that's what I'm going to say about that. But, to me, it was truly a blessing and an honor to be their father. And I'm thankful every day that, I was able to do that and be their dad. So anyway, I don't want to get all weepy here on you guys. So, but, anyway, so let's go back to China real quick, guys. Let's talk about China some more. With the situation with what they're doing and pushing their tentacles out, if you will, in the Himalayas, dealing with the whole India situation, having that tension going on. You can understand, too, India is also a nuclear power. So it's not like they're not, okay? It's not like they don't have that option, all right? Also, and with what's going on with Hong Kong, their inroads of what they're doing in Africa. And again, somebody just said about growing, having a good area, a fertile area for growing food. That's what they're focusing on, especially in South Africa with the situation that's going on down there, with the white farmers, basically, that have been farming those areas for a long, long time and very, very successful at it. They're getting booted out of there. In this, so the Chinese farmers are coming over there and working that land, and part of what their proceeds are going to go to is back to China, So there's a lot of games being played with that type of thing. So, all right, so we're going to do it real quick here, guys. All right, how many eggs today? So we have to do our egg count really, really quickly. So China Navy getting on Japan and the Philippines' nerves. So what do we think for the egg count today, guys? We'll give you a minute here to get your guesses out here. All right, I'm seeing a lot of correct guesses. And so the next one I see, I'm going to, holy crap, they're really banging through here. All right, Lily said 10 eggs, and a lot of other people said 10 eggs. If you said 10 eggs today, you were correct. We ended up with 10 eggs today. And realistically, as hot as it has been, I'm very, very happy with that. No problems with that at all. They're very consistent. Again, generally, every day between 9 and 13 is the average. So, but 10 eggs today, and, they did good. So that's where we're at with the chickens. They're good chickens. And Thick Neck did lay her egg today because I did get a green egg today. So, but, yeah, they got spoiled today. They got some treats and stuff, and they were happy. Gave them some mealworms today. So, like I said, I love the birds. They are freaking awesome. Oh, I got to tell you guys this. So yesterday, I had gone into the chicken coop early, like 8:30 in the morning, and was doing my normal routine, and I got spurred by Goliath, and I turned around, and I looked at him, and I had I wear like galoshes type of rubber boots when I go in there, And I looked at him and I went, "No, you did not." And I gave him like a side, like a side boot a little bit. And I didn't like kick the crap out of the chicken. I did not do that, but I just let him know that that's not acceptable. And so I just, gave him a side boot and said, "No, no, no, no." And he not tried it again. So, maybe it's a test. They got to test you too, because he's the big cheese in the chicken coop. Well, he don't realize I'm the big cheese, because if he keeps acting like a fool, he will go in the stew pot, and then Foghorn Leghorn will be the number one rooster in the chicken house. So, do they love the fresh grass when you mow? Hey, well, yeah, hold on one second on that one. Don't panic, said Ed. We can see how you interact with your kids. We know you're a great dad. Happy Father's Day. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for the donation as well. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, it's Alpha Ed. I like that follower, Jay. Hey, you got to let them know, man. Just like dogs and cats. Well, the cats pretty much are the boss. I will say that they kind of dictate what we do. We're their servants. But like when it comes to the dogs and like the chickens, you have to let them know that you're the boss. So I was like, yeah, it's not happening. I'm not going to be afraid to go into my own chicken coop to think that a rooster is going to attack me. No, no, no. So. But like I said, I was trying to do, I was trying to get him yesterday. I was going to pick him up, because what you do, the way that you control them a lot of times. Hey, Tanya, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. The way you control it, you show the rooster your dominance. You pick him up and you put him under your arm, and you walk around with all the hens there. That's how you show a chicken you're the boss. It sounds crazy, but it absolutely works. It absolutely works. So I was trying to pick him up, but he was not having no part of that. He ran away. So, but do you taste the difference with your eggs over store-bought eggs? Oh, Jess21 asked that. Absolutely, yes. Huge difference in the way the eggs taste. When you make any kind of a cake or anything, there's absolutely a difference in those eggs. 100% yes. It's a huge, huge difference. There you go, fresh chicken. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't want to eat my chickens if I don't have to, But yeah, I don't want to eat them if I don't have to. Like I said, I really, really like my chickens. So I'm going to try to keep them as protected and safe as I possibly can. My dad would cut out the spurs off the roosters. Well, you know what, Donna? They need that for the protection. If there's a predator that comes into the chicken coop, so they can protect the flock. The job of the rooster is two things, okay? Strictly two things for the rooster. Their job is to make sure you have fertile eggs. So somebody had asked me this, so let's break this down really quickly. If you have hens, will hens still lay eggs without a rooster? Yes, they will. But they will not lay fertile eggs, which means what? Which means you cannot incubate those eggs and make more baby chickens. With having the roosters, they are always riding the hens, okay? And so when they have the eggs, their eggs are fertile, meaning you could take those eggs, put them in an incubator and make baby chickens, okay? That's one of the reasons why you have a rooster. The second reason you have a rooster, the rooster's job is to protect the hens. If a predator gets into that hen house, that rooster will give his life to protect those hens. That is his job. So when you cut the spurs off of that rooster, you disarm him and he's not able to do his job. Again, I think it's how a lot of times how you raise your chickens and how you care for your chickens, if they're going to be mean or not. And he's never been mean. And I got him. He was full grown when I got him. So, we right from the beginning, him and I have gotten along okay. So, and then, of course, we have Foghorn Leghorn as well. And he spends half his time running away from Goliath. So, that's how that goes. Guys, I see we're at 1.2 in the chat. We got 639 on the thumbs up. Again, I'm going to ask if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do that to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for that. Also, again, it really does help with the algorithms. The more interactions, the better off it is for the channel. So I would ask for that support as well. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. I want to talk about really quickly, too, on my website, prepnurse1.com. I have some plans coming up for the website, I promise you. I got a lot of things that I really need to sit down and just take care of. And if I get a day or two where I can do that, I'm going to do that. But I'm thinking of getting an RV for my land instead of a building, a shed home. What do you think? Good idea. A follower of Jay. An RV, no, I would never go with an RV over a building. A building is going to last a lot longer, especially if you have a metal roof on that building. An RV is going to break down. You're going to have issues with an RV. So if you build a building there, that can be there for a very, very long time. That would be the way I would go. That would be my advice over an RV. I had the RV here that I had purchased, and over time we had issues and it started breaking down, and that's why I gave it away to my neighbor. Because it got to a point with leaking and all that type of stuff. It is, it's a nightmare. Unless you have some kind of cover, you can put that RV under a cover, but then again, you're going to always have critters getting into the inside of those RVs. There's always ways to get in, and they will find a way to get in there, okay? So, that's another issue that you have to deal with. So, something to think about, okay? And again, individual choice. You do what's best for you, but that would be my thing that I would say, I would go with a building over an RV any day. So, anyway, if you're just starting out and you have an RV and you're trying to build a home, totally different story. It's a great way to do it. That's how we did it up here. We lived in the RV for a few months while we were working on our home. Once the home was ready, we moved into the home and basically used the RV for storage. So that's, you can do that as well. So east of the river preppers, how are the legacy orders coming? Okay, so let's talk about legacy real quickly. Okay. I talked to Amy from Legacy, and what she had said to me was, they're catching up on the orders, and I've been saying this for a while, and I know, but they were saying they're hoping to have, hold on one second, guys. Let me just read this, and we'll go back to that. Merry Christmas says, you can have forgiveness today, repent and be baptized in Jesus' name. Acts 2:37-38, this is the only way to heaven. Thank you for the statement, and thank you for the donation. Nose Pickens says, since you brought it up, do you have an incubator? Good question, and no, I do not, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I do not have an incubator. So it's probably something I should really look into getting, because if we have an SHTF situation, we're going to need to try to make more baby chickens as much as we possibly can. So, but anyway, so let's go back to Legacy real quick. I want to talk about that. So I talked to Amy. She said what their game plan is to be all caught up on all the orders by the end of July. Now, I know that sounds like a complete pain in the behind, and I get it, and I do, and a lot of people have been waiting for a very long time for their orders. It is frustrating for me, too. You have no idea, okay? I'm trying to help you guys get your stuff out there. Your orders went in. Now it's just a waiting game, unfortunately. They are getting there. I promise you they are getting there. They're actually a very, very good company. Just like everybody else, they got caught with their pants down, and they're a smaller company compared to some of the other brand name companies. So, they didn't have the backup like a lot of these other companies had. And a lot of these companies, is it still raining there? I don't think so. I think it stopped. But, they're a good quality company. So you just be patient. Anybody that is ordered, you will get your food. You just have to hang in there and be patient, okay? So just putting that out there for you guys. So anyway, so let's go back to the website. And again, if you are looking to add to your freeze-dried foods, on my website, preppernurse1.com, if you go in there, you'll see store. You click on store, it drops down, and it'll say Legacy Foods. They have things available now. What is for sale right now is what they have available. So you can order, and that you're still looking at probably be a couple of months at this point. If you order today what they have available, you're probably looking at least 60 days before you would get that food. Just being honest, okay? But it is there available. If you are interested, please take advantage of that. It's a good thing to have in your long-term food storage as part of your food storage. 25 year shelf life, GMO free. It's vegetarian. You can buy the beef and the chicken separately. And so, those things are available there. And Legacy has the largest portion size of any other of the other companies. And I couldn't say that if it wasn't true, because that would be false advertising. But they have the largest portion size of any of the other companies, okay? And actually, the food is really good because I've done taste tests on it and videos on that. So anyway, also on my website, if you go in there, you will see the Prepper Nurse One community. It is a resource for you guys to be able to connect with like-minded people. So if you go in there, you click on the Prepper Nurse One community. There's all kinds of forums in there. Now, you do have to register. It is totally free to register. No credit card information will be asked. You can go in there. You can get your order not your order. You can go in there, sign up, go in. We have great forums on there. One of the guys is putting in all kinds of recipes out of food storage right now. He's been doing that. So that's pretty cool. It gives you an opportunity to try different recipes out of your food storage, your beans, your rice, and all your other stuff that you have in there. Gives you an opportunity to do that. It's a great place to connect with like-minded people if you're just looking to chat. If you're looking to try to find somebody in your state or in your country, you can do that as well. If you're looking to try to form a group, it's another resource that is available there for you to use. Because I've had a lot of people say, how do I find somebody in my area? If I live in, Mississippi, how am I going to find somebody that's in Mississippi? Well, that's why we set this up, because anybody that lives in Mississippi can register for the state of Mississippi, and then they know that this is where they're at, and that's how they can connect that way, okay? So that's just, just letting you know. Third Eye Open, Ed, right now, baby chickens are high demand. Hold on a second. Easy way to make some money after the investment of the incubator and the brooding lamps. Yeah, you know what? I know that with Tractor Supply, when they got their chickens in, they were gone quick. Like I said, I got the last 6. Well, it was supposed to be 6 barred rocks. Obviously, that one chicken is not a barred rock. I don't know what she is for sure. She might be an Americana. I think she may be an Americana, but she's definitely not a barred rock. The other 5 are barred rocks. So, Francine says, Ed, how is Lady Prepper doing? She's actually doing pretty good. She's actually right now, okay, anybody that knows what's going on with little Lady Prepper, she's going to veterinary school. She's to be a veterinary technician. So right now, she's doing an internship with a local veterinarian in our area. And so that's what she's got to do. She's got to go there like almost every day, work so many hours a day. And that's ways, she can learn. So she's already finished her first year of college. She has 1 more year of college to go to be a vet tech. And so that's why, she's been busy with that. And then, like I said, she's been doing this internship. And I think the internship are not paid. So I think it's free labor for the veterinarians. So I'm sure they're happy. Man, it's warm. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm like sweating like you would not believe. Just sitting here, I'm sweating. Let's see. Oh, talking about, the situation in Seattle, they need to nip that in the butt. A lot of these freaking politicians, here's the problem. The problem is these politicians are trying to kiss everybody's behind all the time. And if their base is super liberal, that's the way they're going to lean, and that's how their politics are going to be. Your more hardline people are not going to tolerate a lot of nonsense. There was a thing, actually, I just saw in the news, and I thought this was really funny. And, of course, they spun it, the media spun it a certain way. So we're going to talk about that real quick. So you had this town that supposedly they were going to have Antifa and the Black Lives Matter come in and do this protest, in that town, right? Well, people got wind of it, heard that maybe busloads of people coming in from out of town, from these agitators and stuff like that. So the counter protesters went down with baseball bats and guns and stuff like that. Well, it ended up being like maybe 100 protesters, and there was a couple hundred people that were there that were armed and were not going to put up with any nonsense. And of course, they tried to, spin it a certain way. That it was like, all these horrible rednecks or, and this is in Ohio. So, I mean, this is in the north. It was these horrible rednecks or, white supremacists. No, you know what? I'm going to tell you what it is, folks. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. You give me any small town in America that has a very family-oriented mindset. And I don't care if it is in Alabama. I don't care if it is in New York. If you have a small town, everybody in any small town, if anybody's from any small town, everybody knows everybody. So it's a huge family. They didn't want any crap happening in their town. So they were making sure that they were a presence there to stop any crap from happening. I applaud that. I absolutely applaud that. And I'm going to tell you what, that's anywhere in this country, I think you're going to see that happening. When I talk about the silent majority, that's part of the silent majority. People that are fed up with the nonsense. You're not coming to our town and destroy our stuff in our town. We're going to make sure of it. And I applaud that. I absolutely applaud. Now, see, that's a kind of, like, if they were coming to my town and planning on trying to be disruptive, that would be an instance where I absolutely would go myself. Not that I want to be a protester, but just to show that force, I'm saying this isn't happening here. You can protest, but you're not doing anything else. You're not going to destroy our towns, burn anything down, tear anything down. Let's see. Jess said, speaking of Chaz, business owners are trying to reopen their stores, and Chaz law enforcement approached them to tell them they have to pay Chaz by the hour to reopen. Yeah, that's ridiculous. You know, and here's the problem. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this. Idle hands are the devil's tool. Have you heard that saying? Okay. So these idiots there in Seattle, that they allowed these people to take this 7-block area basically over. So now they got this 7-block area. Now what do you do, right? So, or idle hands are the devil's workshop, something like that. It's one of those two sayings. But so now they're idle. What do? So they're going to do what people in those type of situations normally do. They're going to extort. There's no police to stop them. They can do whatever they want to do. They need to establish Homeland Security, kick them out, so that they can't put more bad spin on the police and let them out of town. Yeah, you know, they need to. Yeah, the nonsense needs to stop. The nonsense needs to stop. We're going to talk about something really, really quickly, and this is a true fact. If I'm telling you my opinion is one thing, in fact, it's a totally different thing. Fact: black men between the ages of 18 and 35 have a 93%. Now, listen to this number again. Black men between the ages of 18 and 35 have a 93% chance of being killed by another black man. Okay? So if BLM, Black Lives Matter group, really truly gave a crap about black lives, they would be in those inner cities like Chicago and Baltimore, New York City, where you have high murder rates, blacks on blacks killing each other left, right, and crazy. That's where they should be seriously focusing their efforts to try to curtail that. Education is the key. Education is the key. You give people hope. You give them a reason to live. When these kids have no hope, the only thing that they have is to turn to is the streets and whatever, clique that they're with or gang that they're with, and that's their family. It's sad. It really is sad when there is no hope there. So, Antifa tried to establish another Chaz in Portland yesterday. Mayor said nope, and the police ran them completely out of town, but not until they trashed the place. EV3 Dale said that. Yeah, I did not hear about that one, but I'm glad they kicked them out of town. So, but again, I get so tired when they talk about, they care. Well, they don't care. And again, you got to understand, why is it these things happen always, a lot of times, think about this, in election years. We want to make people mad. We want to stir up the race thing. Every 4 years, we're going to stir that up because the Democrats are trying to guarantee themselves another 4 years in office. That's exactly what they want to try to do. And, realistically, what people need to be looking at, I'm going to tell you what, now, obviously I am not black, but if I was a black man in a certain area and my Democratic leadership was doing absolutely nothing for that city, wouldn't you think it would be time to make a change of some sort? You would think so. Why are they not demanding that? Why are they not demanding that these politicians that they've put in office, why are they not doing anything to help those towns? What are they doing? So think about that. You think about Chicago. I mean, Chicago, it's absolutely insane there with what goes on. And, and there's Mom. 903, she's calling early. She did call the other day at like 9:30 and said, "What time was your show?" I'll have to call her back after the show. But yes, that's Mom. She doesn't remember. That's just one of those things that she doesn't remember. Let's see. Black on. Oh, hold on a second. Let me just go back to that. Black on Black and Black on Korean crime has been going on for 100+ years. Yeah, you're right. It absolutely. It's very sad, realistically. Again, and I've talked about it, guys. Why can't we just all be human beings? Why cannot we be just all the huge Earth family and look out for each other and try? If we took all this money that we waste on hating each other, and this one hates that one, and this one wants to do that, and if we really put our minds together and work together, I mean, it could be awesome. Realistically, we could have a utopia. We really could. But you know what always gets in the way? Always gets in the way? Two things: greed and power. People get greedy. They want more, 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 more. And realistically, I mean, if you think about it, how much is enough? I mean, what do you really need to live? I mean, it's just, and again, giving people self-worth, I think, is hugely important. And I've said it 100 times, and I'll say it again. When I went to nursing school, I went back to school at 29, okay? And I got my nursing degree. And I felt when I got done with nursing school and I took my boards and I got my license, I actually felt like I'd accomplished something. And I felt great. Because, and then I said, the only way that this is getting taken away from me is if I screw up. And so, and it was my bread and butter, obviously, for years and years and years. It's how I supported my family, with nursing. And I loved it for a very, very long time until I didn't love it anymore. You get burned out. You get so tired. You have anybody that's worked in nursing, anybody that's worked in nursing homes knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is a very, very thankless job. Your patients appreciate you. Absolutely. A lot of them do. Some of them don't. Some of them think that you're their servants. So, but management is like the worst, absolute worst. And again, the greed, it always comes down to the greed. And then you get people that are on power trips. Why can't we just do our jobs and work together? Whatever happened to that? What a weird concept, right? But it is what that is, and that's never going to change. So, hey, Carlos Parker, Muhammad Ali Jr., a black Muslim called BLM racist. Wow. Okay. They are. They're a hate group, just like Antifa is a hate group, just like the Ku Klux Klan is a hate group, just like your neo-Nazis are hate groups. When you have people saying, let's kill all the white people, that's racist. I'm sorry. It is. And, it's ridiculous, this standard that's out there. And again, I blame a lot of this, guys, on the powers that be. They want to push this issue. They want to keep us fighting amongst ourselves so we don't focus on what the real issues are and the real problems. It's worked fabulously for them for years and years and years. And they continue to push that because they know it works. They know it works. They know how to push those buttons, and people just continue to fall for it. It's amazing to me how that happens. Guys, I see we got 1,000 people in the chat. We're at 766 on a thumbs up. Again, I'm going to ask for another thumbs up again. If you would do that to show support for the channel, I would appreciate that if you have not done so yet. You donate to BLM, you are donating to the Democratic Party. Yes, Lori Nielsen, we're going to talk about that in a second. And she's 100% right, and I'm going to tell you why. A buddy of mine did the investigation on this, and I did want to bring that up. Again, though, if you would shoot a thumbs up, it really shows support for the channel, and it also helps with the algorithms as well. So thank you for doing that. And again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. And make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So Lori Nielsen just said, if you donate to BLM, you are donating to the Democratic Party. She is 100% correct. If you look at the breakdown, because it's supposedly a nonprofit organization, correct? It will show you where that money goes. And a lot of that money goes to Democratic candidates. Imagine that. And who realistically, and I want you guys, let's use our minds a little bit here, okay? A little free thinking thinking on our own, not listening to what the media says, but using our brains as they're used for, actual rational thought. Who keeps the black people down more than any other group of people? The Democrats do, realistically. If you look at it, the Democrats keep black people down. Any area in this country, you look at Chicago, you look at Baltimore, you look at Atlanta, another area, predominantly black area. You look at New York City, democratically controlled, and they are complete cesspools. They are not helping the people. They get the free handouts, they get the free, food stamps and, assistance and whatever they're giving them, but they give them just enough. They don't give them enough to try to get ahead. There is no incentive to get ahead. They can make more money, a lot of these folks, and I'm not saying every one of them, but a lot of these folks can make more money staying on the system than if they had gone out and got a job and actually were working for a living. Now, there's no incentive there to get off the system. None. So, again, it's ridiculous.
What does that say about how we pay our workers, though?
Oh, I know. Well, Heather just came in. Well, come on in here. Come on. Come.
I'm all good right now. And I disagree with you about lots of things. I don't hear that.
Well, that's okay, too. You have the right to your opinion, even if it's wrong. Me and Heather disagree on a lot of things, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, she's of a generation, and she's been very sheltered. I will say that as well. So she has not been in the world. I have been in the world. I have dealt with a lot of stuff and seen a lot of stuff that I don't ever want her to see. So, yes, I have sheltered my daughter, and it was done on purpose. So that's how it goes. But school, she's on summer break. They will be starting back to school in August. So she's going to be going back. Right now, the game plan is that they will be going back to the college. So that is, she's looking forward to that. And so, and I'm excited for her. Hopefully that she can go and they can do what they need to do and, and keep working on things. Baltimore, Chicago, Philadelphia, that's funny. LA, hold on a second. Hold on, I want to read that. Seattle, the list goes on and on. Yep, S. Mayberry just said that. Yeah, it does. But realistically, they're not helping out the black communities. And it's even black politicians getting filthy, stinking rich and not helping out the people of the areas that they're representing. Nancy Pelosi, I mean, that's a great example, right? She's not helping out those people in those poor communities. They're not. Giving does not help a person. If you give somebody an opportunity to succeed, give them hope, okay? Give them an opportunity to better themselves. Give them self-worth. That's what it's all about. Merry Christmas. Today you can have forgiveness, repent, and be baptized in Jesus' name. Acts 2:37-38. This is the only way to heaven. Thank you very much for the statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. So, any chance for Heather and a kitty fix? Well, she said she doesn't look good today, so she said she's not coming on. She just came and she said, "No, I'm not coming over. I don't look good today." So, see, now luckily me, my hair is perfect every day. So I always look good. Actually, I got to shave. See, it's like the hair's there. I got to shave. Today's a shave night. I got to shave my head tonight. Yeah, not to mention the $7 billion missing in Baltimore. Yeah, well, you know where that went, in somebody's pocket. So anyway, yeah, it's craziness, guys. It's absolute craziness. But give people hope. I think that, give them a reason to want to succeed. Give them an opportunity. I'm going to tell you what. I grew up poor. We didn't have a whole ton. When I went back to school, and I'm going to tell you what, student loans, the government giving me student loans to be able to go back to school. Without that, I never would have gone back to school. I didn't have the money. So that opportunity, I had to steady, have a bald head. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I want to mention something in a second, but I wanted to bring So growing up, I had long hair, and my grandfather had a full head of hair. Always had a full head of hair. Always wore a brush cut, and I used to be like, "Oh my God, if I could have a full head of hair, I'd have my hair long and blah 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 blah." So I went in the military. Obviously, had they shave all your hair off, and you have to have short hair. I grew my hair back out after I got out, and I had the mullet, had the '90s mullet going. I did have that. I'm not gonna lie. And then when I started thinning out up through here, I just went shorter until I started shaving it, and I've been shaving my head 18 years, something like that now. And the funny thing is, I look now and I go, I'll never grow my hair back. Never grow it back. I like having a shaved head. It's just easy. I just have to comb my beard upwards. Yeah, I'll put it up on top. But I just, I would never grow my hair back if I could. If I could tomorrow, if all this was back where it would all grow again, I would still shave my head. Much easier, very low maintenance, and I love it. So 30 years as an RN, burned out and ready to retire. Kelly Torres just said that. I don't blame you, Kelly. It's again, burned out is not the word. I hear you. Last several years that I worked, I was burnt. I mean, I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you what I was doing. The last several years that I worked as a nurse, I was going through the motions. I did my job. I took care of my patients, but there was no joy in it for me anymore. None. I still joke with my patients, and I had a great time. So that was all part of it. So, is your sis getting a septic system? No, we don't need a septic system. We can have compost and toilets up here on the homestead. So that we're allowed to do. So that's not an issue. So that's what we will do. For them when they get moved in here. So, yeah, we don't need to have, that. So, just saying. Your brain got so big it pushed all the hair out. That is, what? Exactly. That's exactly what it must have done. I just wear a cat on your head can change every day. Yeah, there you go. John just said that. Mighty Mouse said the first one. Yeah, the next. I'm going to tell you what Jay just funny. He says, do a next chat with a wig on. I had a buddy of mine says, you should get like a wig and do a video. Never mention the wig and do a video with a wig on the whole time. He said that would be freaking hilarious. And I think that would be freaking hilarious. I had when we were in Greece, the neighbor had a wig. And I put that wig on and I put like a bandana on it. And then I had like this really long hair. It was freaking hilarious. Yeah. Like I said, I like being bald. Low maintenance, that's the best. How you doing on your intake, water intake? I've been pushing fluids, a lot of water every day. When I've been working outside, I come in and the first thing I do is I'll grab water and have another glass of water. So I've really been pushing water, flushing out the system and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm trying to eat better. I know muscle weighs more than fat, so my weight is kind of steadied out on me a little bit, but I know, I've been very active. I had somebody said, I got to mention this. They said, so when you said you're going out for a ride today, were you talking on your bicycle or is that something that's just gone away? If anybody's been paying attention to what I have been doing here at the homestead, now today I cut the grass with a push mower for an hour and a half. Now, if that is not a workout, I don't know what is, okay? I've been spending the last 3 days before that stacking wood. That is also a workout, so I've been getting my workouts in. I don't need to ride the bicycle when I'm being very physically active here at the homestead and being productive at the same time. So, I just, I am also burned out in culinary. Tasha just said that, Tasha Cook. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, work is exercise. It absolutely is. It's the best exercise that you can do, actually. When you're physically active and you're doing things and you're making things happen and reaching goals and having accomplishments, a couple things happen. Things look better. You feel better. You're getting things done. It puts you in a better mindset. We've had a very, very productive year here this year. Very productive. And it's just, and there's still more to get done, obviously, but It's been very, very good. Oh wow, it's already 18 after. Holy crap. Okay, well we're probably going to go over a little bit, guys. I'm not going to just stop it in 2 minutes because we still haven't done We Are Legion or anything else yet. So we're going to do that here in a minute. But I'm going to ask real quick. We're at 834 on a thumbs up. Let's try to push this to 900 thumbs up before we leave here. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do that to show support for the channel. Again, let's help with the algorithms. Let's see if we can hit 900 on the thumbs up here before we jump off. We are Legion. We are Legion because we are many. This time goes by so fast, guys. It really, truly does. We are many. We are many because we're all over the world. We're all over this country. We're a huge network of people. Where is everybody from tonight? Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. We got London. Tony Draper's from London. Northern Tennessee, Oregon, Maine. Let's see, Linden, Texas. Butler, Kentucky. We have Chicagoland, Nebraska, South Dakota, the Bronx in New York, Arkansas, BC in Canada, Maryland, Utah, Akron, Ohio, Buffalo, New York, Alabama, North Dakota, Southwest Colorado, Kentucky. Let's see, Iowa, of course, I like that, of course. Seattle, Waterloo, New York, Arizona, Charleston, South Carolina. We have, let's see, New Jersey, Florida, Washington, Indiana, Kentucky, Bellevue, New York, Long Island, very nice. Cape Cod, San Diego, California, Raleigh, North Carolina. We got Nevada, Illinois. Let's see, Central Florida. We have Eastern Long Island, Iowa, southwest of Cleveland, very nice. Akron, Ohio, Troy, Vermont, Pennsylvania, Adelto, California. I probably said that wrong and I apologize. Fort Myers, Florida, Southwest Ontario, up in Canada, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Wisconsin, Missouri, Michigan, Northern Michigan, Peoria, Pennsylvania, Portland, Oregon, Jamestown, New York, Victoria, Texas. We have Germantown, Maryland, Union City, Pennsylvania, Ontario, Canada, Alpine, New York, Lake Charles, Louisiana, Nowhere, Oklahoma. I still love that name. If that's really the name of the town, that's awesome. Battleground, Alabama, Indiana. So, guys, we're all over. We're all over the United States. We are all over the world. We're this huge, huge network of people. And again, I've said it so many times. If we truly got organized and worked together, it would be amazing what we could accomplish. Think about this, okay? We network together. We're working together. And a brother or a sister needs help on their homestead. And we descend with 50 to 100 people to come down there, just like the Amish do. The Amish will go in there and they'll do a barn raising or whatever that person needs. And if we descended on somebody's homestead and helped them with whatever the issue was and just got it taken care of, think about how awesome that would make you feel to be part of that. That brotherhood, that sisterhood, to do something positive for somebody with no expectations from it. That's the cool thing. That is the cool thing. And I think that is a really an opportunity that we can all do for each other. I really do. So we got Halifax, Virginia. I didn't see that one before, so I definitely got to say that one. So, okay. Belvoy in the UK. All right, Sherry, sorry. Yeah, so guys, we're all over the place. And what are we at? 897, so we're 3 away from 900. We're going to have to hit 900 here, guys. 3 more thumbs up to go, guys. Let's make it happen. So, anyway, guys, I am going to jump off of here. I want to thank my moderators once again. Awesome. They do a great job. See what happens? I get talking and I'm not looking at the time. I'm not paying attention and it gets away from me. It happens. It happens a lot with me. I don't know why. But anyway, I enjoy these chats with you guys. I really, truly do. It's really enjoyable and I think it's awesome. So anyway, remember, we are all in this together. And I always say that, and I really, really, truly mean it. We're a huge network of people, and we really can make a difference in each other's lives if we try to, and I think that's important as well. Also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. And again, that doesn't always have to be family. It can be people that treat you like family. That's the people that are important. The people that care about you, that lift you up positively, and and you do that for them as well. Those are the people. That's the family that I say. But make sure you tell those people every day how you feel. Okay. Also remember STD, guys, and it's a simple concept, and it is amazing what happens when you follow that mindset. And it's so weird because it's like I'm like right now. I have been so locked into that mindset. It has been unbelievable. And I keep looking and I'm going, man, more and more things are getting done. But it's because STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Don't matter. Just work at things methodically. If you know it's going to be hot, like I knew today was going to be hot, I got up early, got my stuff that I wanted to get done out of the way early, and it was done. And that's what it's all about, and just working at things. And before you know it, you got a whole lot done. It's amazing. Okay. So I hope everybody's doing well. Again, guys, I appreciate you. You have no idea how much. I really, truly do. Thanks for being here in the chat. And I will see you all tomorrow with more progress, because we will get something else done tomorrow. All right. Have a great night. I hope everybody's safe, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. And we did hit over, we're at 9:38, so very, very cool. Good amount of thumbs up tonight.